Mr. White, did you want to ask your questions now? Tom, you have to speak into a microphone.
Tom White, I'm on HBC.
Yes, Tom. Tom, we also need to be sworn.
Yes, Mr. White, to the extent you're providing testimony, do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I think basically what my questions amount to was you had talked about being able to essentially rebuild a structure inside the Thomas Suite building and save the front of that, and really I'm wondering if the same thing could be done here, if there's a chance that the brick exterior or part of it could be saved by temporarily bracing it and then building the new structure inside and then tying the brick into it. And part of my question was how thick are the walls, because we don't really have an idea of that. We haven't been able to get into the building. And do you think there is a possibility that the brick exterior could be saved? Maybe the outer layer has to be relaid. And is that possible, I guess? I know, just about anything's possible if you spend enough money on it. But would it be a reasonable thing to think could be done?
The answer to that is yes. The brick walls could be saved in this building. And what it would take, and very similar to what we did for the Thomas Suite, Wynitz Hall, if you're familiar with that, at Rutgers University, we dropped steel columns in, the floor framing that was part of the new structure. Off that steel, we braced the walls, and then when we took out the floors, the walls were braced by a steel structure, and we were able to tie the walls into that steel structure and complete it once the floor was out. The things you have to be careful about is the building is right on the sidewalk. The walls are mostly 3 wide, thick, and the inside face would take the load. From a structural standpoint, you're going to have to rebuild some of the foundations down there, but you could put a floor inside the building and brace the walls and save it. Now, the part I don't know about, where I have a condition, is I don't know about the exterior face of that brick. I'm not worried about that structurally. That's why I kind of said it's a little bit out of my expertise. But the inside things could still remain bearing for the house. And actually, the more load that you put on the brick walls, they work better structurally because you put them in compression. So once the floors go back on, it could be a stable structure.
Yes, let me ask a question. The documentation for this building says that in 1873 there was a major fire in the structure. The entire roof burned off, and everything in the building was lost because of water damage from the fire department working so hard on the roof. And obviously if this damage is visible, it would only be visible after you did destructive removal of the finishes inside. But how much would this jeopardize the integrity of the building?
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of a fire.
And the fire department reports in the newspapers do report this as being a major fire.
Okay.
So, no, but apparently all of the roof structure was gone, and there was considerable damage. I just wanted to know whether factors like this would come to light as you went to work on the building.
Well, we could see about 10% of the roof framing because of all the finishes that were up there. We had to look into the knee walls in there, and I could see that it was old timbers that was it. It was kind of the old type of framing. So there's no evidence of a fire. They might have, when they reframed the one area that I said is kind of indeterminate, a lot of times that was probably redone at the time. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating that. But no, not really. The roof has been there for a long time. It supported the snow load, so I don't think that that the fire would have been a major concern.
Okay, anybody else? Any questions? Julie? Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to reiterate what Elric said about, all of us working together and kind of brainstorming. I think that the applicant wanted to look at the possibilities. We were open to other possibilities, and it's Mr. Harrison's report is really elucidating and helpful in getting us to a conclusion.
Okay, anyone else? Thank you very much, Mr. Harrison.